Welcome to World News and Politics News Bulletin today. SUUKYI hit with new charges as Myanmar dissidents rally once more. Myanmar's removed chief Aung San Suu Kyi showed up in a court hearing through video connect and was accused of extra-criminal offences on Monday. As hostile to upset dissenters mobilized the nation over again in disobedience of a security power crackdown that killed in any event 18 individuals the earlier day. The 75-year-old looked sound as she partook in the court hearing from the capital, Naypyidaw, and requested to see her lawful group, attorney Min Soe disclosed to Reuters news office. World censures Myanmar crackdown as 18 quiet dissidents killedIn pictures. Police heighten crackdown on fights in Myanmar, at least 18 killed in bloodiest day of Myanmar hostile to upset protestsMyanmar armed force fires diplomat to the UN after enemy of overthrow discourse. The head of the National League for Democracy, which cleared last November's currently abrogated political decision, has not been found out in the open since her confinement on February 1 when the military held onto power, charging broad electing misrepresentation. In a matter of seconds a while later, she was accused of unlawfully bringing in 6 walkie-talkie radios just as disregarding a catastrophic event law by arranging a mission rally during the COVID pandemic. A third charge, recorded on Monday, was under a part of the Frontier Period Corrective Code precluding the distribution of data that may cause dread or alert or upset public serenity. Min Soe said. Another charge was additionally added under a broadcast communications law, the legal counselor said, which specifies that hardware needs a permit. The following hearing will be on March 15. Min Soe, a second legal advisor for the removed pioneer, said her lawful group had not had the option to address her in front of the meeting. Myanmar has been in disarray since the February 1 overthrow, which carried an end to the country's conditional strides towards majority rule government after almost 50 years of military standard. It has drawn broad global judgment and a huge number of demonstrators onto the roads of urban communities and towns across Myanmar. We won't ever pardon you. As Aung San Suu Kyi showed up in court, police in Yangon terminated poisonous gas and shock explosives to scatter dissidents accumulated at various areas all through the city. A considerable lot of the dissidents wore hard caps, while those at the bleeding edges conveyed improvised shields to shield themselves from security powers. Who killed in any event 4 individuals in Yangon and injured handfuls more the earlier day. In the city's Kyauktada municipality, 1 dissident was seen passing out surveillance cameras, while in different pieces of Yangon. Demonstrators taped to the ground many pictures of Senior General Min Aung Hlaing, bearing the words, "Disgrace on you, tyrant, we won't ever excuse you." Dissidents respond after nerve gas is terminated during an exhibit against the military upset in Yangon on March 1, 2021. Crowds additionally walked in the second city of Mandalay. While live video on Facebook showed a little horde of dissenters assembled across a road in Lashio, Shan State, reciting mottos as police walked towards them. The new mobilizes came a day after the most exceedingly terrible brutality since the overthrow. Conflicts occurred in different pieces of the country on Sunday, as police started shooting at packs in Yangon, Mandalay, Dai in different spots after poisonous gas and cautioning shots neglected to clear dissidents requesting the reclamation of Aung San Suu Kyi's administration. Dissenters partake in a service to petition God for the individuals who passed on during exhibits against the military overthrow in Yangon on February 28. Some of the security powers had a place with units infamous for intense crackdowns on ethnic renegade gatherings. The United Nations said it had dependable data that at any rate 18 individuals were slaughtered and 30 were injured around Myanmar. Checks made by different sources, such the Democratic Voice of Burma, an autonomous TV and online media source, put the loss of life during the 20s. Any of those reports would make it the most elevated single-day loss of life since the military takeover. Passings allegedly happened because of live ammo terminated into swarms in Yangon, Dai, Mandalay, Myaik, Bago, and Pokaku, the UN Human Rights Office said in an explanation. Alluding to a few urban areas, adding that the powers additionally utilized nerve gas, street blast projectiles and shock explosives. Following the killings, individuals raised improvised walkway sanctums at where a few of the casualties were shot and furthermore offered their appreciation by remaining external the clinics from which the assortments of the casualties were being delivered to their families. The Assistance Association for Political Prisoners said in any event 270 individuals had been confined on Sunday, from a sum of 1,132 it said had been captured, charged, or condemned since the upset. Those captured included one columnist who was beaten in northern Naypyidaw, Kachin State, as indicated by neighborhood outlet the 74 media. Least losses. The military has not remarked on Sunday's brutality. However, in a long explanation distributed in the state-run Global New Light of Myanmar paper, Myanmar's foreign ministry on Monday repeated the military's reasoning for its takeover and proclaimed that the junta is practicing most extreme restriction to evade the utilization of power in dealing with the fierce fights efficiently, as per homegrown and worldwide laws to keep least losses. The distress has drawn worldwide judgment, including from the UN, the United States, the European Union, the United Kingdom and Turkey. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken decried the crackdown as loathsome while Canada's unfamiliar pastor, Mark Garneau, said the military's utilization of deadly power against its own kin was horrifying. Both required an assembled reaction. Tom Andrews, the United Nations Extraordinary Rapporteur on Common Freedoms in Myanmar said it was clear the military's attack on dissidents would proceed, so the global local area should tighten up its reaction. He proposed a worldwide arms ban, more authorizes from more nations on those behind the overthrow, sanctions on the military's organizations and an UN Security Council reference to the International Criminal Court. Expressions of judgment are welcome yet inadequate. We should act, Andrews said in an explanation. The bad dream in Myanmar that is unfurling before our eyes will deteriorate. The world should act. Singapore likewise added its voice to the tune of worry on Monday, with the country's unfamiliar priest approaching the Myanmar military specialists to halt from the utilization of deadly power, and to make prompt moves to heighten the circumstance to forestall further slaughter, viciousness, and passings. Vivian Balakrishnan likewise told the Singaporean parliament that top ambassadors from the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, of which Myanmar is a part, will hold a unique gathering on the issue on Tuesday. An agent of Myanmar's military specialists will talk at the virtual gathering, he said. World censures Myanmar crackdown as 18 quiet dissenters executed. Security powers open fire, use poisonous gas and make mass captures as they look to scatter against upset demonstrators. Security powers have ventured up brutality against hostile to upset demonstrators in Yangon and different urban communities in Myanmar. Myanmar Armed Force fires representative to the UN after enemy of upset discourse. In a discourse on Friday, Kyaw Tun approached the United Nations to utilize any methods important to stop a military upset.